The Adventures of Prickly Porky. Chapter 22. Old Man Coyote Loses His Appetite. Hardly was Sammy Jay out of sight, flying towards the old orchard, before Old Man Coyote started for the Green Forest. He is very sharp, is Old Man Coyote, so sharp that it is not very often that he is fooled. If Sammy Jay had gone to him and told him what a splendid chance he would have to catch Peter Rabbit, if he hurried up to the Green Forest right away, Old Man Coyote would have suspected a trick of some kind. Sammy Jay had been clever enough to know this, so he had just mentioned in the most matter-of-fact way that he had seen Peter Rabbit over on Prickly Porky's hill, and that Peter appeared to have been in trouble, so that he was too lame to go home to his home in the dear old briar patch. There wasn't even a hint that Old Man Coyote should go over there. This was what made him sure that the news about Peter was probably true. Now, as soon as Sammy was sure that Old Man Coyote couldn't see him, he headed straight for the Green Forest and the hill where Prickly Porky, Jimmy Skunk, Uncle Billy Possum, and Peter and Mrs. Peter Rabbit were waiting. As he flew, he saw Reddy Fox and old Granny Fox stretched flat behind an old log some distance away, but where they could see all that might happen. "I knew they would be on hand," he chuckled. When he reached the others, he reported that he had delivered the message to Old Man Coyote, and that he was very sure, in fact he was positive, that Old Man Coyote was already on his way there in the hope that he would be able to catch Peter Rabbit. It was decided that everybody but Peter should get out of sight at once. So Uncle Billy Possum climbed a tree. Jimmy Skunk crawled into a hollow log. Sammy Jay hid in the thickest part of a hemlock tree. Prickly Porky got behind a big stump right at the top of the hill. Little Miss Peter, with her heart going pit-a-pat, crept into the old house between the roots of this same old stump, and only Peter was to be seen when at last Old Man Coyote came tiptoeing along the hollow at the foot of the hill, as noiseless as a gray shadow. He saw Peter almost as soon as Peter saw him, and the instant he saw him, he stopped as still as if he were made of stone. Peter took a couple of steps, and it was very plain to see that he was lame, just as Sammy Jay had said. "That good-for-nothing Jay told the truth for once," thought Old Man Coyote, with a hungry gleam in his eyes. Whenever Old Man Coyote thought that Peter was not looking his way, he would crawl on his stomach from one tree to another, always getting a little nearer to Peter. He would lie perfectly still when Peter seemed to be looking towards him. Now, of course, Peter knew just what was going on, and he took the greatest care not to get more than a couple of jumps away from the old house under the big stump, where Mrs. Peter was hiding and wishing with all her might that she and Peter were back in the dear old briar patch. It was all very still in the Green Forest, save for the song of happiness of Red-Eye the Vireo, who, if he knew what was going on, made no sign. My, but it was exciting to those who were watching. Old Man Coyote crept halfway up the hill, and Peter was wondering how much nearer he could let him get with safety, when a sudden grunting broke out right behind him. Peter knew what that meant, and jumped to one side. Then down the hill, rolling straight towards Old Man Coyote, started the strange, headless, tailless, legless creature that had so frightened Reddy and Granny Fox. Old Man Coyote took one good look, hesitated, then looked again, and then he turned tail and started for the Green Meadows as fast as his long legs would take him. It was plain to see that he was afraid, very much afraid. Quite suddenly, he had lost his appetite.